Sup, chooms, how y'all living? Hope everything is Nova and you're all having a preem week. So usually on this channel, you'll hear me talking about ways to stop hair loss, and more often than not, my recommendation is to start using a 5-AIR inhibiting drug like finasteride as soon as you possibly can. That's the golden option for hair loss prevention, and it is what everybody who is concerned about hair loss should be doing. However, we don't live in a perfect world, and we as human beings don't always make the best of decisions. Whoever decided that Anora deserved the Academy Award for Best Picture instead of Dune Part 2, for instance, deserves a lobotomy. But let's say you want to get into the hair loss game, but unfortunately, you've waited too long, and now it's too late to save your hair. Oftentimes, combination therapy of minoxidil and finasteride can yield fantastic results for many people, and there are plenty of great examples of people online who get significant hair regrowth by using pharmaceuticals. But as impressive as these results are, these hair loss prevention drugs don't cause miracles. Like, you won't see anyone go from a Norwood 7 to a Norwood 1, even if they're using a nuclear stack like 2.5 milligrams of dutasteride, which is the strongest hair loss regimen currently available because it blocks the most DHT, which of course is the hormone that causes androgenic alopecia. So did bald people who want to regrow their hair make a mistake by not getting on treatment before it was too late? Yes, of course they did. They should have been more proactive, of course, but like I said, people make mistakes, and it isn't helpful to constantly shame and berate people for not having had the hindsight to get on treatment sooner. I'm sure they already know that they've waited too long, so it isn't helpful to keep breaking their balls about it. It's possible they fell victim to all the rampant fear-mongering about finasteride online, or maybe they're just one of the very few rare individuals who just cannot tolerate finasteride even when they microdose the drug at doses as low as 0.1 milligrams per day, which is the lowest dose of finasteride that still works, and I talk about that in my video about the optimal dose of finasteride, which I'll link below. But let's say your hair loss can be classified as Norwood 6 or beyond. It is probably too late for a pharmaceutical intervention at that point. So what are your options? Now, you may think that one option is to get a hair transplant. This is theoretically possible, but if you're not able or willing to use finasteride, then your options for hair transplantation surgery are extremely limited. The first big problem we're talking about here comes from donor hair availability. The donor hair refers to the hair on the occipital region of the scalp, which is extracted and then transplanted to the crown of the scalp. A major limitation is that on most people, this donor area only has about 6,000 grafts. So if you're a Norwood 3, that's no problem, since for most people, anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 grafts should probably be enough to fix a Norwood 3. If you're a Norwood 6 or 7 though, in that case you may not have enough grafts to get good coverage with a hair transplant. There are doctors who specialize in obtaining grafts from body hair or facial hair like Dr. Umar in California, but these hairs have a different texture and grow at a different rate, so they may not look as good. The next big problem comes from the donor hair itself. It is true that the donor hair is DHT resistant, but it is not DHT immune. That is why if you see people with extremely aggressive Norwood 7 hair patterns, they will only have a tiny ring of diffuse hair left, and oftentimes during transplants, hairs will be extracted outside of these sensitive regions. So, if a hair transplant patient is unable or unwilling to use finasteride, then their transplanted hairs can thin too. I made a video where I go more in depth on this particular point, which I'll link below, but the bottom line here is that hair transplants are less likely to be successful if you don't use finasteride, and people who are completely bald or almost bald may not have enough grafts for a good procedure to begin with. Also, it's worth mentioning that hair transplants are very expensive, so many people, especially young broke-ass college kids, may not be able to afford it. Unless, of course, they're willing to risk going to some Turkish hair mill, which is basically the hair transplant equivalent to Russian roulette. Sure, maybe you'll end up getting good results, maybe, or maybe you'll end up looking like Greg Doucette or Chris Bumstead. Another very commonly talked about option is to just embrace being bald and find confidence in your newfound identity as a bald man. Personally speaking, the bald look definitely isn't for me, and I know it isn't for a lot of other people too, but nobody should be made to feel like their life is over just because they're bald. Of course, nobody should pretend that going bald is an easy thing for any man or any woman to face, but learning to accept yourself as a bald person is one way to deal with hair loss. It's not my preferred method of dealing with it, of course, but if God forbid I ever did lose the fight against the slaphead curse, I would be grateful for channels like Bald Cafe who help bald men feel better about themselves for being bald. But what if you don't like either of those options? Well, fortunately, there is ongoing research on full-blown cures for hair loss by using methods like hair cloning and CRISPR gene editing technology. But unfortunately, those treatments likely won't be available until the 2030s or even 2040s. So if you're holding out in hopes for a cure, your hair is going to be waiting for a very long time. But there may be another option available to you right now, one that doesn't involve pharmaceuticals, surgery, or taking the blue pill and embracing the bald look. I'm talking about hair system chooms. Now, I know what you're all thinking right now, but Kevin, hair systems are not even my real hair. They're just wigs, bro. How can you recommend anybody try fake hair? Yes, indeed, it is true. Hair systems are not your real hair, so by wearing one, you are kind of faking it, but if nobody can tell, does it really matter? Let's face it, chooms, almost nobody who is bald actually owns it. That's why bald men shave their head, because they want people to think that their baldness is a choice somehow. Or they'll wear a hat all the time, even on dating websites in hopes of hat-fishing women who don't want to date a bald man. If a bald guy were to actually own it, then they'd grow out their horseshoe and style it like Hayachi Mishima from Tekken and strike fear into the hearts of their enemies, but almost nobody ever does that. So, almost every guy who is bald is already faking it to begin with, but the big difference here, though, is that hair systems actually look good. So, if you're going to bullshit your way through life, you might as well look good while doing it. And when I say they look good, I'm not kidding. They look remarkably good. So much so that even as a man with hair, I'm jealous. They look so good these days that they even look better than natural hair, and I'll get into that a bit later. So, I was actually planning this video for a long time, but it was pretty difficult for me to find an angle to actually tackle this subject, because this isn't really a science-based treatment we're talking about here, chooms. Hair systems have been around for centuries. That's why George Washington wore one while fighting bald-cell British redcoats. So it's not really possible to make an objective statement about hair systems, except for the fact that the technology behind them has gotten much better in the past couple of decades. I was made aware of this just a couple of weeks ago from this article that appeared in the Washington Post on the kinds of hair systems used by actors in movies and in television. It's an especially interesting subject for the Washington Post. Maybe the editors chose the subject as a subtle insult against this bald asshole who owns the newspaper. Anyways, in the article, there was a quiz that showed a series of pictures of actors with either their real hair or wearing a wig, and the goal was to pick the actor wearing the wig. I took the quiz, and I actually got every single one of them wrong, and I'm a hair loss witcher, so I thought I would ace the test. Now, the wigs you see in this article are not the kind of rugs you'd find in the ghetto wig shop next to the Dollar General store. These are Hollywood-grade hair systems that are quite expensive, but still available to consumers who are willing to pay for them. The process to create these hair systems is very complex. It involves making a mold of the individual's head and then creating a fine mesh into which real human hair is woven. These hair systems cost between $10,000 to $15,000 US, so about as much money as an FUE hair transplant from a high-quality surgeon. So you may think that these kind of hair systems are not viable options for the general population and will thus forever be limited to actors in high-budget films like in the Marvel Shitomatic universe. But the truth is that these innovations used in Hollywood have been extended to everyday hair systems that are actually much more affordable. In fact, thanks to 3D printing technology, it's possible to pretty much replicate what's been done in Hollywood and create wigs that completely conform to the skull shape of any individual. The wigs use human hair, so the texture and feel are the same as natural hair. These wigs are not cheap, but they are still much less expensive than Hollywood wigs. They cost about $3,500 US and are meant to be worn all the time. They usually have to be refitted every month, and they last about 12 to 18 months at a time. So this is a real high-end hair system, but even on a smaller budget, the hair systems available today are much more natural looking than they were in the past. Don't believe me? Then just check out the wig of former Congressman Jim Trafficant. Now, it's hard for men to even talk about wigs these days without being made fun of and trolled. There are a few hair tubers who specialize in talking about hair systems, but none of them have ever become super popular, and that's likely because there is a stigma behind men wearing wigs, which in my opinion is completely unjustified. I mean, just think about this for a moment. Why is it that women can wear wigs and nobody cares, but if a man wears a wig, it is somehow shameful, even though men are the ones who are much more likely to be afflicted by androgenetic alopecia and have severe hair loss? It doesn't make any sense to me. So if anything, it should be more normal for a man to wear a wig than a woman. There's nothing inherently wrong with wearing a hair system, especially if you have advanced hair loss that does not respond to pharmaceutical interventions or if you're too late for surgical interventions. To me, hating on a man for wearing a wig would be much like hating on a combat veteran for having a prosthetic limb. Hair systems should be seen just like any other prosthesis, like wearing a glass eye for someone who lost their eye, kind of like Goro Majima. Hair loss is a handicap and it is a cosmetic defect which is detrimental to the quality of one's life. No doubt people can endure despite being bald, and they often do so, and they should be encouraged to do so if that is what they wish to do, but nobody should be criticized for using modern technology to correct a characteristic of themselves that they find aesthetically displeasing. Are hair systems an ideal solution? Of course not. They're especially problematic if you're in a long-term relationship where your partner will inevitably find out about it, but then again, it's possible your partner may even like the look. Personally speaking, I actually think it is hot when women wear wigs because they can change their appearance frequently so they can go for some more wild and fun looks every now and then, and I'm sure a lot of women would feel the same way about men. So I know there are a lot of bald guys out there who have missed out on their opportunity to take pharmaceuticals like finasteride, and now they're really sad about being bald. But I gotta be honest, chooms, I think these bald guys who don't like being bald but still won't wear a hair system, they don't have any balls. If they did, they'd suck it up and put on a wig like a real man and take charge of their damn life. Please, whatever you do, don't end up like this guy.
My name is Emmis and I'm from Roscommon.
Alice, you turned on or turned off? Nadine, what happened?
He kind of looks a bit old and he's baldy like me dad and no.
Okay.
It's just the hair, the lack of, I'm sorry.
So again, there isn't any published research on hair systems, so unlike most of my videos, this video is largely opinion-based, but we do know that there is strong scientific evidence that hair loss is detrimental to one's life, and I made an entire video about that which I'll link below. So, since we already know that losing your hair is associated with all sorts of negative consequences, including making it more difficult to make advances in your career or your social life, then I think the logical solution for a bald person would be to embrace this modern hair system technology and give themselves the semblance of a full head of hair. If you don't like the idea of faking it, that's fine. Just don't tell anyone. It's like using a 12-inch strap-on during sex. It's only a bad thing if she finds out. Otherwise, don't worry about it, because hair systems kick ass. If you still have your hair or most of your hair, don't even think about hair systems though. Your first choice should always be a 5-air inhibiting drug like finasteride and maybe topical minoxidil as well. But if that ship has sailed for you, then you can do a lot worse than a hair system. It's a hell of a lot better than wearing a beanie wherever you go. Alright, I think that's all for today, so thank you so much for watching Hair Loss Witchers and Hair System Witchers. I'll see you all next time. God bless.